I threw my name into the current on a Sunday afternoon. Watched it float away downstream, didn't think I'd need it soon. I'd sold it beyond redemption, dragged it through the mud and shame. The river took my name, but God gave it back, made it clean again. For years I'd been called drunkard, liar, the man who can't be saved. Wore those labels like a prisoner wears the numbers on his cage. I thought my name was buried underneath the weight of sin. The river took my name, but God gave it back. Let me start again. The river took my name, but God gave it back. Washed away the stains, returned it to me holy, free from all the chains. The river took my name, but God gave it back. And it sounds brand new, verse 3. Now when people call me by my name, I hold my head up high. Not 'cause I'm perfect, because He saw fit to let me try. He pulled it from the water, dried it with His grace. The river took my name, but God gave it back, put a smile upon my face. Some things need drowning, some things need to die, but God restores what's precious when we're willing to let go and cry. The river took my name, but God gave it back, written in the book of life. No longer marked by failure, no longer marked by strife. The river took my name, but God gave it back, called me His own child at last. Yeah, the river took my name, but God gave it back and freed me from my past. Now when I hear my name called out, it doesn't sound the same, 'cause the river took my old one, and God gave back a new name. The fire had burned for 7 days, took everything I owned, my house, my truck, my memories, left me all alone. I was sifting through the ashes with a shovel and a rake. I found my faith buried in the smoke, make no mistake. I'd lost it years before the fire, somewhere down the line. Traded it for whiskey bottles and a life that wasn't mine. But there beneath the rubble where my Bible used to lay, I found my faith buried in the smoke that day. I found my faith buried in the smoke right
rising from the ground, where everything had burned away, that's where it was found. I found my faith buried in the smoke, and it was still alive. The pages were all charred and black, but one verse caught my eye. Though you walk through fire, you shall not be burned, made me start to cry. God had left that message in the ruins of my past. I found my faith buried in the smoke, and this time it would last. Sometimes loss reveals what we thought was gone. Sometimes what survives the fire is what we're meant to lean upon. I found my faith buried in the smoke when everything else died. In the ashes of my old life, my faith had survived. I found my faith buried in the smoke, now it's burning bright. Yeah, I found my faith buried in the smoke, and it's gonna guide my life. Now I know that faith can't burn, can't be destroyed by flame. I found my faith buried in the smoke, and I'll never lose it again. I was standing in the desert where the wind blows hard and mean. Dirt in my eyes, sand in my teeth, the loneliest I'd ever been. The dust was swirling all around me like a wall I couldn't see, when heaven whispered through the dust, speaking just to me. I've been wandering for 40 days, trying to find my way back home. Every step felt heavier, felt like I was made of stone. But through the storm of sand and grit, I heard a gentle sound. Heaven whispered through the dust, said, son, you've been found. When heaven whispered through the dust, in the middle of the storm, a voice so soft and tender kept me safe and warm. When heaven whispered through the dust, I knew I wasn't alone. It said, I've been walking with you through this barren land. Every grain of sand you've crossed, I've held you in my hand. Don't give up now, don't turn around, your journey's almost through. When heaven whispered through the dust, I knew it was true. God don't always shout, sometimes he speaks real low. In the quiet of the tempest, that's when his love will show. When heaven whispered through the the dust, I stopped and bowed my head. Let the words sink deep inside. Believed what heaven said. When heaven whispered through the dust, my soul was finally free. Yeah, when heaven whispered through the dust, it was whispering to me. Now when the dust storms come and the world gets hard to see, I listen for that whisper. It sets my spirit free. I walked into the church house with my head held down low. The congregation was silent, they all seemed to know. The preacher said, confess your burden, let the healing start. The night I let my sin speak first, I opened up my heart. I've been holding them inside me, locked up tight for years. Thought if I just stayed quiet, they'd eventually disappear. But sins don't die in silence, they just grow and multiply. The night I let my sin speak first, I finally told no lie. The night I let my sin speak first, before my pride could interfere, I laid them at the altar through the shame and through the fear. The night I let my sin speak first is when the healing came. I told them about the stealing, the adultery, the rage, every dark and ugly chapter written on my page. And when I finished speaking, the silence was profound. The night I let my sin speak first, grace came pouring down. Sometimes confession bitter, sometimes it cuts like steel, but naming what's inside you is the first step to being healed. The night I let my sin speak first, I thought they'd turn away, but mercy met my honesty and took my guilt away. The night I let my sin speak first, I found I wasn't cursed. Yeah, the night I let my sin speak first, God answered with His love unrehearsed. Now I don't hide my failures, don't pretend I'm something I'm not, because the night I let my sin speak first is the night that I was born. I'd been walking for a lifetime down this long and winding way, through the valleys and the mountains, through the night and through the day. My feet were tired and bleeding, didn't know how far I'd go, but there was a cross waiting for me at the end of the road. I'd seen signs along the highway, warnings that I'd ignored. Kept on walking in my stubbornness, kept on walking toward the Lord. Though I didn't know I was headed there, somehow my soul just knew. There was a cross waiting for me at the end of the road, pulling me through. A cross waiting for me at the end of the road, where mercy meets the ground, where every burden's lifted and every lost is found. A cross waiting for me at the end of the road, and it's been there all along. When I finally reached that hilltop and I saw it standing there, I fell down upon my knees and wept, lifted up a prayer. Said, Lord, I didn't know that you'd been waiting all this time. A cross waiting for me at the end of the road, and now I know I'm not. Every step we take is leading to that place where the cross stands ready, offering His grace. A cross waiting for me at the end of the road. 2,000 years it stood, taking all our sin and shame, turning bad to good. A cross waiting for me at the end of the road. Now I'm finally home. Yeah, a cross waiting for me at the end of the road. Now I tell every traveler who's walking down life's way, there's a cross waiting for you at the end of your road someday. Thunder rolling heavy like a freight train through the night. Lightning flashed the memories I'd been hiding from the light. Every crack of heaven's fury brought another face, another name. The storm knew what I tried to forget, brought it all back again. I'd buried all my failures underneath a mountain of denial. Thought if I just kept on moving, I could outrun them for a while. But the storm dug up those secrets, laid them bare for me to see. The storm knew what I tried to forget, wouldn't let me be. Storm knew what I tried to forget, every sin I tried to hide. It rained down all my memories that I'd buried deep inside. The storm knew what I tried to forget, and it made me face the truth. So I stood there in the downpour, let it wash over my shame. Called out to Jesus through the thunder, confessed every single name. And when the storm had finished, when the sky was finally clear, the storm knew what I tried to forget, but God took away the fear. Sometimes a storm's a blessing, though it feels like punishment. It brings up what needs healing, shows us why the Savior was sent. The storm knew what I tried to forget, but so did the Lord above. He used that storm to break me, so He could fill me with His love. The storm knew what I tried to forget. Now I'm glad it wouldn't let. Yeah, the storm knew what I tried to forget, and freed me from that debt. Now I don't run from memories, don't hide from what I've done, 'cause the storm knew what I tried to forget, and it led me to the sun. I was sitting in the darkness of a cheap motel room, bottle by the bedside, staring at the moon. Hadn't talked to anyone in maybe 7 days. Gotta listen when I thought no one would, hurting me anyway. I started speaking to the ceiling, words I'd never said before, about the pain I'd been carrying, about the man I was before. Didn't think that anyone could hear me or would care. God listened when I thought no one would. He was already there. God listened when I thought no one would. In my loneliest hour, when I'd given up on everything, He showed His power. God listened when I thought no one would, and He answered my prayer. I felt a presence in that room, warm as summer rain. Knew that I'd been hurt by someone who could heal my pain. He didn't interrupt or judge, just let me pour it out. God listened when I thought no one would, removed every doubt. When the world is turned away and you're talking to the air, know that someone's listening. God is always there. God listened when I thought no one would, when I felt completely alone. He heard every broken word and claimed me as His own. God listened when I thought no one would, made everything understood. God listened when I thought no one would, and He's still listening good. Now I know I'm never talking to an empty room alone, 'cause God listened when I thought no one would, and He's on the other end of every groan. They told me not to go there, said nothing good resides in the shadows and the alleyways where broken people hide. But I was drawn into that darkness, couldn't stay away. I walked into the darkness and found grace that day. The street was cold and empty, the buildings blacked out tall. I could hear the sound of suffering echoing off the walls. But somewhere in that blackness I heard a hymn being sung. I walked into the darkness and found grace among the forgotten ones. I walked into the darkness and found grace shining in the night. In the places that the world forgets, God's love was burning bright. I walked into the darkness and found grace in the most unlikely place. There was Jesus in the shadows, tending to the lost, binding up the brokenhearted, no matter what the cost. He looked at me and smiled, said, "Glad you finally came." I walked into the darkness and found grace, found His holy name. Grace don't live in comfort, don't hide in easy spaces. Grace goes to the darkness, shows up in broken places. I walked into the darkness and found grace where I least expected it. Among the hurt and homeless, where His mercy wouldn't quit. I walked into the darkness and found grace. Now I know the truth. Yeah, I walked into the darkness and found grace, and it changed me through and through. Now I'm not afraid of darkness, don't avoid the broken streets, as I walked into the darkness and found grace. That's where Jesus meets. I was standing in the open field, watching clouds roll in, feeling the storm coming, heavy with my sin. But before the lightning struck, before the heavens opened wide, my heart broke before the thunder fell, and I finally cried. I've been holding back for years, keeping walls up high. Wouldn't let nobody in, wouldn't let myself cry. But something in that moment, standing underneath that sky, my heart broke before the thunder fell, don't know why. My heart broke before the thunder fell, before the storm arrived. Something inside me shattered and I came back alive. My heart broke before the thunder fell, and it was meant to be. The tears came like a river, washing years of pain away. I fell down on the ground and prayed like I'd never prayed. And when the thunder finally crashed, I wasn't scared at all. My heart broke before the thunder fell, I'd already given all. Sometimes we need to break before we can be whole. Sometimes the heart must shatter to let God heal the soul. My heart broke before the thunder fell, it cracked wide open there. Let God come rushing in on the wings of prayer. My heart broke before the thunder fell, and now I'm free to feel. Yeah, my heart broke before the thunder fell, and God began to heal. Now I'm not afraid of breaking, not afraid to fall apart. 'Cause my heart broke before the thunder fell, and God gave me a brand new heart. Everything I'd built was burning, going up in flames. My reputation, my ambitions, everything I'd claimed. I stood there watching all of it turn to smoke and dust, when a hymn rose from the ashes of my past, from the God I trust. I didn't know where it came from, that melody so pure, rising through the destruction like a promise, like a cure. It sang a resurrection, sang a starting over new. A hymn rose from the ashes of my past, and I knew it was true. A hymn rose from the ashes of my past when everything was gone. A song of hope and redemption carried me along. A hymn rose from the ashes of my past and gave me strength to last. I opened up my mouth and sang along with heaven's choir. My voice cracked and broken, but lifted higher and higher. God was making music from the ruins of my life. A hymn rose from the ashes of my past, cutting like a knife. Beauty comes from ashes, songs from broken hearts. God takes what's destroyed and makes it wholly ours. A hymn rose from the ashes of my past like a phoenix from the flame. Turn my sorrow into worship, turn my loss into His gain. A hymn rose from the ashes of my past. Now I'm singing free at last. Yeah, a hymn rose from the ashes of my past, and it's a hymn that's gonna last. Now I'm singing every morning, praising through the pain, 'cause a hymn rose from the ashes of my past, and I'll never be the same. I pulled over to the shore somewhere south of Abilene. Engine overheating, life falling apart at the seams. I got out and stood there staring at the endless stretch ahead. The road watched me pray for the first time, heard every word I said. I'd never been a praying man, never been my need. Thought that kind of thing was for the weak, not for folks like me. But standing on that highway with nowhere else to turn, the road watched me pray for the first time and felt my spirit burn. The road watched me pray for the first time underneath the sky. No church walls around me, just God and I. The road watched me pray for the first time, and it held me when I cried. I raised my hands up to the heavens, said, Lord, I need your help. Can't do this on my own no more, can't save myself. The asphalt was my altar, the white lines were my pews. The road watched me pray for the first time, and God broke through. You don't need a sanctuary, don't need stained glass to pray, just a humble heart that's ready to give it all away. The road watched me pray for the first time, and it was holy ground. Every prayer I'd never prayed before came pouring out. The road watched me pray for the first time, changed my life around. Yeah, the road watched me pray for the first time, and God's grace came down. Now every road's a chapel, every mile's a chance to pray, 'cause the road watched me pray for the first time and showed me the way. There's a fence line on my daddy's land that's fallen down with age. Barbed wire rusted through posts, leaning every way. I was walking that old property line, thinking about my shame, when forgiveness met me at the broken fence, called me by my name. I'd been carrying guilt for 20 years about the things I'd done. Hurt my family, hurt my friends, hurt everyone. But standing at that broken fence, I felt a presence near. Forgiveness met me at the broken fence, dried every tear. Forgiveness met me at the broken fence, where the land is split in two. Showed me that what's broken can still let mercy through. Forgiveness met me at the broken fence and set my spirit free. I realized that fence was like my heart, damaged but still standing. Couldn't keep things in or out, but still demanding. God said, son, you don't need perfect fences, just an open gate. Forgiveness met me at the broken fence, and it wasn't late. Broken things have beauty, let the light shine through. God uses what's imperfect to show what love can do. Forgiveness met me at the broken fence, in the middle of the field, where the boundaries were unclear. That's where I was healed. Forgiveness met me at the broken fence. Now I'm whole again. Yeah, forgiveness met me at the broken fence and freed me from my sin. Now I don't try to fix everything, don't need it all brand new. 'Cause forgiveness met me at the broken fence, and broken things can let God through. Couldn't walk when I came to Jesus, could barely even stand. My legs were weak from years of sin, couldn't take his hand. I thought he'd turn away from me, thought I wasn't worth it all. But heaven waited while I learned to crawl. I started moving inch by inch across that dusty ground, dragging all my brokenness, couldn't make a sound. Every movement was agony, every breath was hard. But heaven waited while I learned to crawl toward the Lord. Heaven waited while I learned to crawl, didn't rush me, didn't push, just kept the light on in the holy bush. Heaven waited while I learned to crawl and called me when I'd fall. Then one day I felt his hands lift me to my feet, stood me up on solid ground, made my life complete. He said, son, I've been right here watching you move toward me. Heaven waited while I learned to crawl. Now I'm walking free. God don't need us perfect, don't need us running fast. Just moving in His direction, that's all He asks. Heaven waited while I learned to crawl. Every painful inch, never gave up on me, never even flinched. Heaven waited while I learned to crawl through the hurt and all. Yeah, heaven waited while I learned to crawl. Now I'm standing tall. So if you're crawling toward Jesus, moving slow and small, know that heaven's waiting. It don't matter how you come at all.